Hello, Terry. How you doing this morning, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Still battling, man, from the vid, and not feeling better, but I still have all that clogged up stuff, and I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I feel like I sound a little bit more Chicago than usual.
Yeah, you do. You do. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I know that the symptoms or whatever, the after effects, they last a long time because they've lasted a long time with me. So,
Yeah, just
you
I'm
know,
all I still have all stuffed up, so hopefully eventually this stuff goes away.
yeah,
I mean, that's the idea, right? Eventually this stuff
it
goes
is.
away, or
Yeah,
no? Yeah, I don't know.
absolutely. I mean, we're hoping,
Hmm.
something weird. I think it's going to be like the flu. You're going to get it every year. You're going to have to,
Oh,
if
please
you,
don't do that to me, Terry.
yeah,
Don't
I
jinx
know.
me. I don't want to be jinxed. I'm going to say you're going to have good health, Terry. I'm going to go the
Okay.
other way.
Sounds good.
So we had a decent weekend. Good stuff at the Travers. I think we nailed everything. I know that at the picks over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, the pick six that ended with Epicenter, you wouldn't have had to go more than two deep. So hopefully we can do the same thing today at Parx, Terry, that we can hit our picks and hopefully you don't have to go all that deep. Oh, I forgot to do something again, Terry.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just you know what? Maybe we'll go out without it today. My pace worksheet.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and post it over on horseracingtoday.net and folks can go over there and check it out for themselves. All right.
Okay. Yeah, it
All
sounds
right.
fine.
All right. So race number one at Parx today is a 6.5 furlong. It's claiming $5,000 non-winners of one lifetime. And if we, as we do around here, take a look at what the profile of a winner looks like for 6.5 furlongs so far at Parx Racetrack, we find that there's been 136 races, of which 82 were won by horses that were in the first three at the first call. 41 of the 136 took the field from wire to wire. Do get a little bit of a bonus if you get the one draw. Everything else plays kind of fair. So start us out with your picks for this new week, Terry.
Yeah, okay. It's the girls for the first race, and I like number 5, Isabella Smile. She ran second versus similar to her last race, and she has the highest last speed rating. Has the highest speed figure at today's distance, so she marks off at least 3 of the boxes. And then number 6, Angenetti. She drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 1, Kanaya Cool. She finished third versus similar to her last race, and the rail post is winning at a 19% clip. And then number 3 is Sensational Dixie. She's done well in the past at Parx.
All right. So for me in race number one, Terry, I'm going to start off with horse number 6, Angenetti. Your second choice, my first choice. We just flip flopped our first two. The 6, Angenetti, does have a plus late pace edge. Doesn't look like it much on paper in terms of that early pace edge, but it's an early pace edge, not a late pace edge. Forgive me. Doesn't look like it on paper, but the horse drops in class, so I think you'll see it be evident today. Number 5, Isabel Smile did run the top last race speed figure, tied with a double plus late pace edge with the 3 horse. Could be better in race number 3 off the bench. Number 3, Sensational Dixie, as I mentioned, it and the 5 horse have a tremendous late pace edge over the rest of the field. This one gets a weight break too, which could accentuate that advantage. And then finally, number 1, Kane Cool, was a tough call over the 2 horse for me, but not so much anymore since the 2 scratched, made it a lot easier. This one gets the high rate win rail and was much better in the later part of its last start. Race number 2, Terry, is a 7 furlong optional claiming $40,000 race. And if we look at what the profile of that sort of winner at 7 furlongs on the Parx Dirt, there have been 150 races. What would you call it? A symmetrical 111, 1111, 111 were won by horses that were considered early speed. 50 of the 150, so quick math says that third went wire to wire. You do have an inside 3 bias. You get a bonus if you wear an 8 and out. 4 through 7 underperform a little bit, Terry. You like the one horse here. That is Peach Perfect, which is the name of my dog, Peach. And indeed, Peach is perfect.
All right. Yeah, I do like the number 1, Peach Perfect. Girls again, she's finished in the money 5 out of 6 career races, which means she's very competitive. And the
Mm-hmm.
rail post is winning a 19% clip, as we said. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then number 2, Pistol is Ablazazin. She has finished in the money in 3 out of 3 career races, winning one of those starts, and has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 6, Closet Shopper. She has the highest last race speed rating and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then I like number 4, Sa Fordada. Her best speed is fastest among today's starters.
All right. So race number 2 for me, Mr. Terry. I'm going to start off with the 6-horse Closet Shopper. This one has a double late pace advantage, meaning 10 points, at least 10 points more than anybody else, which means a horse can gain about 2 lengths in the stretch. Did run the top last race. Speed figure trainer Jamie Ness wins 24% in the start after a layoff. Number 2, Pistols Liz Ablazin. Yeah, whatever. Ran better fractions in her last race, so the race was better, a lot better than it actually looked like on paper. It has a decent maintenance workout in between starts. Number 1, as I mentioned, my doggie, Peach, and she is absolutely perfect, my chubby blonde girlfriend. Never missed the board in 4 on a fast track, 4 races, 1 win, 1 second, 2/3. It's going to be fast and firm today over at sunny Parx Racetrack. Horse never ran out of the distance either. 3 times across the board at 7 furlongs with a win, a place, and a show. And then finally, number 7, Brooklyn Heights has a plus early pace edge at both the 2 furlonger and the 4 furlong marker. So at the quarter mile, the horse could be a length. At the half mile, could be a length in front of everybody else. Was a tough call for me over the 5-horse in here. But this horse has been in the money 3 of the last 3 when he was first or second at the half mile marker. And I suspect based upon his pace figures, you're going to see him in that position today. Race number 3 is a 6 furlong race, optional claiming $16,000, Terry. And a 6 furlong race, as you know, one of the biggest negatives is the fact that the rail does get a penalty. Bonus for posts 2 and 3. Small penalty for 4 and out, but mostly fair. 6 furlongs, 201 races, 135 won by horses that were considered or labeled early speed, so meaning they're in the first 3 at the first call. 70 of the 201 went wire to wire, Terry. This is my best bet of the day. That is Perfect Mistress. Those are the ones that keep their mouth shut, right? Won her first race with ease after coming in from Churchill Downs, Oaklawn Park, and Keeneland. So a track dropper, does have a good workout in between races. So I expect race number 2 to rival race number 1 at Parx. Terry, you also like the 2 horses your top pick.
I do. You know, she's another race for females. And Perfect Mistress has won 2 races in a row. She won the last race at Parx Racing. So now she's going for a hat trick, and she has a really good workout on August 20th. And then number 3, Will Lemon Dance. She's my second pick. She drops in class today. She likes Parx Racing and is 1 for 1 at today's distance. Mm-hmm. And then number 6, Mountain Lily, my third pick, has finished in the money in 3 out of 5 races, winning 2 of those starts, has a high percentage winning trainer and high percent winning jockey. It switches to a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 4, She's a Super Freak. She ran second versus similar in her last race.
Makes for a good mistress too, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, I hope
we're going to get ourselves in a lot of trouble today.
I know. Terry. I think my wife's still asleep, so that's good.
I hear the pans rattling around in the kitchen, Terry. You better duck.
You're probably right. She's going to bang me in the head. Anyway, she ran second versus similar in her last race, has the highest last speed rating, the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters.
All right. So I already mentioned my Perfect Mistress is my top choice of the day. I'm going to go with number 6, Mountain Lily, as my second choice. Gets Paco Lopez, who rode this horse 2 races back, and they went wire to wire together. I think this one's going to challenge for the lead today again, according to my early pace scores. Number 1, Golden EIB microphone, a tribute to the dead and late Rush Limbaugh. Z pattern in the last race was better in the 2 furlong and late pace numbers to boot. So the horse should improve in this race as well, but does ride the rail that absolutely sucks. And number 4, She's a Super Freak, Super Freaky, is the other one that should compete for the lead, concerning that she gave up a 7-length lead in that last race in the stretch. But at Parx so far, the horse has run 9 times, 4 seconds, and a third. So I think this is one that could probably clean up the back end of the gimmicks, Terry. Before we move on to race number 4, Terry, I'd like to point out we did go through my best bet of the day, which means it brings to mind another best bet of the day, and that's going to be the picks with the professor. Terry. You're going to like this pick, Terry.
Oh, I do.
Yes, indeed. So the professor is going to go with the San Francisco Giants.
All right.
It says the Padres are going to eventually figure it out, but I don't know. Losing Fernando Tatis to a little bit of Peds, kind of hanging out in the wrong barns, for sure. So they're going to go with the Giants today, minus 120, so a little bit of a favorite. So far, the major league plays of the day: 41 wins, 21 losses, a 24% ROI. Terry, up almost a little bit more than 18 units, and so far. The college football came back. So if you do college football on Thursdays and on the weekends, you want to make sure you bookmark the picks by the professor. The only game this week, the play of the day, won, up 87%. So not bad on that at all. There is a link in the description here on YouTube, at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So you can find the pick of the day. Also, the link to the full YouTube show if you want to make sure you catch out all of the professor's picks, Terry. What's up, Charles? How you doing today, my friend? Race 3 and race 5. Race 3, the 5-horse coming late. That's his pick. I did manage, Terry, while we were doing the talking, to manage to get my pace worksheet operating. The only problem is I can't get it to move to the top screen. Okay, here we go. All right, so now we're back on pace. So we're going to go off to race number 4 now, right, Terry? Is that right?
Yep, 4.
Race number 4. Race 4. Do I have a? Okay, so race 4. Let me bring this in here, Terry. So we're on the same page. Okay, race 4. Let's look at the pace worksheet, Terry. Race number 4 looks a little bit like this. We got a scratch here with the 9-horse. That was an also eligible horse that was going to move up in class. We have our first rendition of a left arrow horse. It's a horse that's never been close so far in any of its races, Terry. This is a maiden race. That's why you see the arrows. 5-horse does have some of the most early pace, one that should be close to the front, all the way around the track, Terry. A bunch of first-time starters. So this is truly one of those races where anything can happen. It is 5 furlongs. It is on the turf. The turf is firm. It is a maiden claiming $16,000 race. And so far, they've run 4 of these races. 3 of the 4 were run by horses that like to get to the lead, one of which went wire to wire. Every single win was from post 4 and out. So, not surprisingly, we both start with number 4, Refund the Wriggler.
That's correct. So we're going to start with the boys now. Number 4, Refund the Wriggler is my first pick. He ran second versus similar in his last race on the turf, has a high percentage winning trainer, and has a bullet workout on August 17th. In a matter of fact, that's the 5th bullet workout in a row. Then I like number 2, Mizzen Man. He has the highest last speed rating. His best turf speed is fastest monthly starters. He switches to a high percentage winning trainer and high percentage winning jockey. And then number 5, Issuing Justice, is my third pick. He's finished third in his last 2 starts, and this shorter distance should help. And then number 8, Judgerly Love, I guess. Jugger Her Love. Whatever.
Jungly. So it's jungle.
I have no idea.
Hurley Love. Jungle Hurley Love. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, he is a first-time starter who has a high percentage winning trainer.
All right. So for me, I'm going to start with Refund the Wriggler. Refund Wriggler, just like you. Just missed by a neck at this level last time out. Was the first time that the horse tried to go short on the turf. Has a bullet workout since that race, so I expect you'll see another sharp effort from Refund Wriggler. Number 2, Mizzen Man. There's a track dropper coming in from Churchill Downs, Keeneland, and the Fairgrounds. Park works are okay, but this horse has by far the top pedigree scorer in the field. Number 5, Issuing Justice. I'm not a fan at all of the Parx angle. Not a fan of a horse rising from maiden claiming 10,000. So you say to yourself, why in the hell would you pick this race then? Well, Danny Velasquez hits at 8% overall, but when he moves his horse up one class, he wins at 23%. That is an absolute alpha angle for Mr. Velasquez. So that's something he apparently can identify pretty well. And then number 1, LT's Jack in the Box. That was a little bit easier to say. To me, of all the first-time starters, this one looks to be or appears to be the best of the first-time starters. Race 5, Terry, is a 6 furlong, the maiden claiming $25,000 race. There isn't I did not do the pace worksheet here, Terry, because we have a bunch of first-time starters. So far at the 6 furlongs, as I mentioned, 201 races, 135 of which were won by speed. 70 went wire to wire. The rail kind of sucks, Terry, so you're going to have to get that one horse to really pull through for you as your long shot. Small bonus from 2 and 3, small penalty if you wear 4 and out. Tell us why Dana's Big Day is going to overcome that rail bias and win as a long shot.
Well, it looks like we both have the long shots in that race. So
yeah, this is the battle of the long shots.
Battle of the long shots. That's
you
correct.
won the last one, so I'll give you credit for that.
All right. I like number 1, Dana's Big Day. She is a first-time starter whose dam has has 7 winners from 8 starters, and one of those winners was a stakes winner. She has a high percentage winning trainer and a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 6, Girl from Outer Space. She finished 4th in her last race. And
aren't they all, Terry?
Yeah, they are kind of.
She has I'm going to get us in all kinds of love with the women today, Terry.
Yeah, you're getting us
the 7% of the audience that watches us as women is going to just tune out now. Oh, of course, I joke, Terry. That's what I do. Men are from outer space.
Yeah,
right?
You do. Anyway, a trainer who wins 25% of the time when taking a horse from maiden to maiden claiming races. And I like my number 2, my True Passion. She drops in class today. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, which there aren't too many starters. And she may improve with blinkers added today. Keep her mind on business. Number 5, Road to Dreams. She has a high percentage winning trainer and a high percentage winning jockey.
So Charles, just kind of rewinding a little bit, in race number 3, says he likes the 5 horse is going to come late. Neither one of us have the 5.
I know.
And then in race number 4, Charles likes the 1 horse. Says Andrew Wolfson is schooling them on turf sprints at Parx. Horse out, Kitten's Joy. So there you go from Charles. And when Charles speaks, you better listen because he is the E.F. Hutton of horse racing. So in the battle of long shots here, Terry, I'm due for a win. Girl from Outer Space is the only pure maiden special weight dropper that ran evenly in its debut. Trainer Luis Linder Jr. hits at 25% on the Tom Carley drop, and Tom Carley says it's the biggest drop in all of horse racing, and many people agree with that sentiment. Number 2, My True Passion drops from maiden optional, claiming $40,000. Did show some improvement in that spot, which was a drop from the maiden special weight. And I think you'll see the horse build on that effort in the second start off a layoff and another peg lower on the claiming scale, maiden claiming scale. Number 5, Road to Dreams, looks like the top first timer to me, according to the odds maker, 2 to 1 morning line. Trainer John Service hits at 15% with the debut maiden claimers, which is one of the top angles for all the trainers in here for this classification. Finally, number 1, your long shot, Dana's Big Day. Another first timer that has okay works out. Doesn't really have a lot to beat in here, to be honest. It is encouraging that the top jockey, Frankie Pennington, rides this horse, so must have gotten some good word from the connections. I just think that rail could be difficult to overcome. Race 6, Terry, is let me just pop this in here on the screen so I can keep track and people know where we are. Race number 6, Terry, is a 1 mile claiming $5,000, non-winner of 1 for the year, purse of $19,000, and the profile of a 1 mile winner on the dirt course over at Parx. They've been 90 races, 66 of which were won by horses that are speed. 26 of the 90 went wire to wire. You do get a slight rail discount in race number 6. Post 2 through 7 play fair. It is a penalty if you wear an 8 or out. We do have our pace worksheet for race number 6. Let me pull up to here. Kind of a little shady, hard to see there. But you do see that we do get some scratches here. The 8 horse got knocked out. The 4 horse, which had a plus late pace edge gets scratched out. So that leaves the 5 as a horse, the only horse in the field with a plus late pace edge. We also see that the 2 horse here, Terry, being a lone speed type that does have a plus early pace advantage at the quarter-mile marker and should build on that, has a double pace advantage at the 4 furlong marker. So the 2 horse should be able to control the pace of this race from start to finish. The only thing he has to be careful of is not running too fast. This is also your box it up. So we have a lot going on in this race, Terry. Box it up is 4 horses. We put them together for a $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. Start us off with your box it up.
All right. Well, I like number 3 in inequality. He likes Parx racing and the distance, has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. His jockey in the last 7 days have been in the money 8 out of 10 times, winning 4 of those, 2 seconds, 2/3. And number 2, the one that you said was speed, and is called Can't Stop Running. He has early speed and may lead all the way, as he's done in the past at today's distance. Then number 1, Legal Gump. He won his last race, and the trainer wins 23% of the races with claim repeaters. And then number 5, Political. He drops in class today and finished second in his the race before last.
All right. So that's Terry's box it up for the day. And we're going to have back-to-back box it ups because mine's coming right up. So a little bit of foreshadowing, as they call it in the TV business. For me in race number 6, Terry, I'm going to go with that 2 horse, the one that has that early pace advantage. As I mentioned, should have the lead at the 2 furlong, should extend the lead by the half-mile marker. And if you can just run the right fractions, I think it's a wire-to-wire win for Can't Stop Running. If not, your top choice, Inequality, did run faster fractions last out compared to the previous start, both of which were at 1 mile and 70 yards. Decent workout between starts, and I think round 2 off the bench should be some additional improvement. Number 5, Political, as I mentioned early on the worksheet with the scratch, does have a double pace late advantage over the rest of the field with the 4 scratching, and is moving down a couple of classes. And the 7 horse American Fleet scratches into this spot for me based upon the scratches in this race that knocked out a couple of my horses, Terry. It's also the end of the opening pick 4 for you. I think it's actually the second pick 4 on the card, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it is.
But it is our hot dog pick 4, Terry, where we have a $20 budget, both of us spending $18 today. Terry spending his in a more creative way. He's going to live or die in race number 3 with that 2 horse.
Your best bet of the day. So go ahead.
Yes, I know. And I have so much confidence in it. I backed it up with the 6.
Well, but your best bet of the day has been doing pretty darn good. And, you had a long shot bet pick last week, paid over $20.
So hopefully we can repeat that effort today. So Terry's going to go 1 by 3 by 4 by 3. I'm going to go more traditional 2 by 2 by 3 by 3. Hopefully it goes 2, and then the longest shot that Terry and I agree on. Well, the only way, the longest shot you and I agree on the rest of the way come in together so that we can both collect our hot dog pick 4s today, Terry.
That's right.
Let's see. Charles says in race number 6, these are all bad horses. That's why Terry boxed it up.
That's right.
They're all bad, and you don't know what you're going to get.
That's right.
It's a Forrest Gump race, right? It's a box of chocolates. When the gates open,
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get. Race 6 also starts the Philly 5. Terry and I will have our picks for the Philly 5 at the conclusion of all of our picks today. Let's go ahead and take a look at race number 7, Terry.
Okay.
Race 7 is 1 mile and 70 yards on the main track. So far at Parx, they have run the mile and 70-yard races, 207 of them, so a lot of them. 149 were won by horses that are fast. 50 of the 207, so a little less than a quarter, went wire to wire. You do have a small inside 3 bias here. 2 and out perform a little bit under par, but really, really close to fair. In race number 7, we take a look at my pace workshop sheet here. This is a pretty interesting race to me in that, Terry, if you look at how the race lays out here, a lot of these horses like to be in the back. You don't see really any speed horses in here at all. Yeah. All of these horses, when they've performed their best, they've been either pressuring the leader or closers. And you see here with the 5 horse, we got a left arrow horse, my friend, meaning this horse is one that should be on the front, Terry, with a plus 2 furlong advantage. The 6 horse in here has a plus late pace advantage. To me, this is a wide open race, and that's why it is my box it up, Terry. So I'm going to go in race number 4. My box it up. Race number 7, that's wrong one altogether. Race number 7, my box it up. I'm going to go at number 1, Scoop Dog. This one gets a favorable rail, top last race speed figure, dropping down in class. It's a combination that I like when you see that top last race speed figure and a horse moving down in class. Very effective winning angle. Is a left arrow horse, as I mentioned. Much better fractions last out and room to get better in race number 3. So a lot going on for Scoop Dog. Number 5, Go for the Kill. It's a left arrow horse that has a plus early pace advantage and can close, if necessary, significantly better first half mile in its last race. Number 8, Scotch Rocks. Z pattern in the last was better in the 2 furlong marker and the late pace numbers in the last 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row. And number 7, Lawlessness, was a tough call over the 6 horse for me, which does have a plus late pace advantage. But the 6 usually bombs when he's coming off the bench and running fresh like today, though the 7 horse also been very effective at the distance. Kind of Denzel Washington, a lot of time in the barbershop, 4 times out at the distance, but 3/3. And this is one I think could be on spot in its 3rd start off of a layoff. So we have back-to-back box it ups, Terry. Who do you like in race number 7?
Well, I like the number 1, Scoop Dog.
Scoop
He is
Dog.
in top. He's in top form, winning his last race at Parx Racing at today's distance. He won that race by 9 lengths, receiving their highest last race speed reading. Drops in class today, and the rail post is winning at an 18% clip. And then I like number 7, Lawlessness. His last race seemed to be too short for him, and he stretches out in a race today, which will be a benefit. And he has performed well at Parx Racing. Number 8, Scotch Rocks. He ran second versus similar in his last race and has a really good jockey. Number 5, Go for the Kill. He won his last race at Parx Racing, drops in class today, and the trainer wins 20% of the races in claiming races he has an entry in, and he'll probably try to go for the kill today.
Well, once again, we find ourselves in conflict with Charles. Race number 7. Charles has the 3 horse in there, which is his value play of the day for win, place, and show. So make sure you mark that down in your notebooks and take a good hard look at the 3 horse in race number 7. Race 8, Terry, is a 1 mile and a 16th race on the turf. As we mentioned, it is nice in Philadelphia today. So turf is firm, sunny out. What we'll find at 1 mile and a 16th so far, they've run 9 races, of which 5 are won by speed. So pretty much a 50-50 mix. 2 of the 9 went wire to wire. So far, none of the winners, Terry, have ridden the rail. You get fair post position bias if you run from a 2 or 7 spot. And if you wear an 8 or out, you actually get a bonus. So much of a bonus, Terry, that this one looks like it's going to be your best bet of the day. But before we get to that, let's take a look at how this race lays out on paper. We did see some scratches in here, Terry, with the 1 horse getting knocked out. We see that the 3 horse got knocked out as well. The 4 horse took a hit, so that opened up. The 6 horse should not be in this race either if it's on turf, right? The main track, but it didn't get moved off the turf. But in any case, the 5 horse and the 11 both have some early pace to them. And then the 7 and the 8 both carry a lot of late punch in here, Terry. You're hoping that this 11 horse can get to the lead, stay on the lead, and take them wire to wire, because that's the way Gravitron wins, and that's the way you expect your best bet to bring it home.
Yeah, she's a female, and she's won 3 of her last 5 races and finished second versus similar in her last race, only losing really by a short amount. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and a high percentage winning jockey. Then number 7, Color Crush. She comes in from Colonial Downs, where she finished the fast closing second as the favorite. But this trainer wins 17% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. And then number 6, who we're not sure if they're going to go, but Burano. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and her dam has produced 1 turf winner. And number 5, Aegean Sea. She ran second versus similar on the dirt in her last race and has a high percentage winning jockey who in the last 7 days has been in the money 8 times, winning 4 of those.
So in race 8, it does look like this. Did they take it off the turf? It says turf is firm. I don't know. Maybe it's also eligible. I don't know, Terry. Maybe it's not an MTO. I don't know. So for me in race number 8, I'm going to also start with the 11 horse, Terry. That is Gravitron. One or only Parx race at the distance and the surface by 7 3/4 lengths. Never off the board on grass in 7 races. 1 wins, 4 seconds, and 2/3. Number 9, Madam Rogue, Parx grass horse, out 4 times, 2 wins and a third. Showed more interest late in its last race, which was supposed to be on the turf and got moved off the turf. Number 5, AGNC. This one I think could compete for the 11 for the lead. Paco Lopez rides this horse. It's trying turf for the first time, so you don't know what you're going to get, but has a decent off-track record, which suggests should enjoy the switch. And then number 7, Color Rush does scratch into this spot for me because of some other scratches in this race, Terry. And along with being your best bet of the day, Terry, hopefully you also made your best jockey bet of the day today over with Sean's new Jockey Survivor contest. Did you manage to put that in today?
I did. I put in for at Parx Racing. What is it? Harry Hernandez.
Harry Hernandez is running at Parx today?
Yeah. So I put him in as my jockey today.
All right. Well, good luck with that, Terry. It looks like about 120 people entered, so I did not because I didn't want to win this contest. And I have so much going on right now, Terry, that it's kind of hard for me to keep track, and I don't want to forget. So if you indeed went into the contest, certainly we wish you nothing but a lot of luck with that today. Also want to point out another best bet of the day will be tonight. Sean will be joined again by the wonderful and talented Jamie Martinez for Horse Center. Tonight, they're going to have Kareen Andros as the guest. Tomorrow night, they're going to have Karen Witter. And then on Wednesday, Hugo Torres and Jordan Gatlin. So it should be a hell of a week for Sean and Jamie as they interview folks and talk a little bit about the horse racing news at Horse Center every single night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Just make sure while you're here on Horse Racing Radar, you hit the subscribe button. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Follow us, as Terry's pointing out, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Horse Racing, Horse Race, Day. And our Swiss Army, Sean, will keep you up to speed with all the ongoings at horseracingtoday.net. So make sure you bookmark all of that. All right. Back to the races, Terry. Race number 9. Right, number 9. I think that's
number 9. Yes,
9 in Spanish. 6 furlongs on the main track. This one's an allowance $8,000 race. 6 furlongs so far. 201 races, 135 won by a horse in the first 3 at the first call. 70 went wire to wire. Small rail penalty. Well, no, it's not a small rail penalty. It's a big rail penalty. Small bonus if you were a 2 and 3. Everything else rides about pretty fairly. Let's take a look, Terry, at what our pace worksheet sets up like for race number 9. Race number 9. Again, we see a scratch. Hold on one second. The mouse didn't work there. The 9 horse gets booted out of this race, so we're not going to see him in here. The 2 horse does have some early pace, usually a pressure horse, but the EP numbers are going to put him pretty damn close to the front, making the 2 horse a left arrow horse. The 7 horse is scratched, and we find that the 4 and the 8 have the most late legs in this field. If you see here, there's a lot of squares early on, Terry, and a lot of horses that want to be towards the front, right? Mm-hmm. All of these horses, I think this sets up for a race that could be kind of fast on the front end, maybe for a horse that sits right off of the pace. Mm-hmm. And for you, maybe that horse is going to be the 4 horse, just like me.
That's right. I like the 4, number 4, Flat Lucky. And let's see if it is Flat Lucky. You know, he won his last race at Parx Racing, receiving the highest last speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then number 3, Sneakiness, going to try to sneak in there. He is always in the mix, finishing the money in 6 of the last 6 races, running 3rd in his last race. And then number 6, Friends Warrior. He has won 10 races out of 24 starts at Parx Racing, so he really likes that track. And he's won his last start at Monmouth Park. Number 6, Jump Shot, is my 4th pick. He has won 3 out of the last 4 races, running 2nd in his last race, has a jockey in his last 7 days, as I've said repeatedly, has won 4 out of 10 starts, and has a good 4 furlong workout on August 17th.
Hey, Janet says something really nice here. Terry says, I want to thank you for having jockey Kevin Radke on a while back. Best, most consistent in the money jock anywhere. He brought a long shot in last night. Love him and love you guys, Janet. We love it too. We love you too. And we thank you for the nice words. So make sure you tell your friends about us and give us a nice thumbs up somewhere, both on Facebook and on YouTube and wherever it can be. Again, we're in odds with Charles in race 8. And Charles, what are you trying to do? Jinx Terry and I today? Race number 8. He likes the 8-horse Tick, Tick, Boom. I think there's actually a third tick in there. I think it's Tick, 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 Boom. Dropping out of Stakes Company into the spot there in race number 8. For me, in race number 9, I am going to go with the 4-horse, something I would prefer to be Flat Lucky. This one, as I mentioned, could get hot up front. This one had tied for the top last race speed figure. Frankie Pennington and Jamie Ness teaming up while Jamie appeals his suspension. The duo wins at 34%. Dropping off the win as well. So to me, this looks like a conditions book race for Jamie Ness. Found a good spot for the horse where he can actually run at a less competitive level than he did last time and collect a couple W's in a row. Number 6, Fran Warrior. As you mentioned, Terry Horse has been a beast at Parx. 10 wins in 24 efforts. Any other track, 19 races, just 4 wins. 11 of those wins come in 23 races at the distance. So not only is it a Parx beast, it's a distance beast. 3 wins in 20 races at any other length. So put Fran's Warrior. I mean, it seems to me if I'm the trainer owner, I'm going to put this horse in the Parx 6 furlong race every single time. Number 8, Jump Shot, tied for the top last race speed figure, running better fractions at 7 furlongs than he did at 6 furlongs. I love when I see that in the past performances, especially when it's backed up by a strong workout between races. And then I'm going to take number 1, Tio Will over the 10-horse JW's Third Mischief. Was a tough call for me, and then tough call because the horse is on the rail, but the 1-horse just looks like a little bit better than the 10-horse. Finally, Terry, in race number 9, before we get out of here, 8-horse should get the first run at pace stalking. So at least this time we both have the 8-horse, so we're not going to have our good friend Charles messing up our tickets for us. Finally, race 10. Race 10 is a 7 furlong race, claiming 12,500. Non-winners of 3 lifetime. Again, 7 furlongs, 150 races. Perfectly symmetrical, 111 won by horses that were in the first 3 at the quarter-mile marker. 50 or a third of the horses going wire to wire. We do get a small inside 3 bias and a little 8 bonus. 4 through 7 underperform a touch. And our final crack at the pace worksheet, Terry, looks a little bit like this. Not a whole lot of action in here. The race is pretty evenly split between horses that want to be near the front. Well, actually, most of the horses in the field want to be towards the front. You see right in here. 1 horse in particular does appear to have a pace advantage. That is the 1 horse. Does have a plus number edge at the 2 furlong marker and the 4 furlong marker, meaning the horse should be a length or so ahead of everybody for the first half mile. The 5-horse Chasing does have the top last pace late pace numbers. The 3-horse, another that should chase, also has some of the best late punch in the field, Terry. This winds up the late pick 4. It also winds up the pick 5. Once again, we're starting with the Quattro as our top choice in the final race.
Yeah, number 4, Birchmount Road, returning to a sprint should help, as he's had the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like number 7, Ravens Rocks. He finished second versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 3 starts with the third. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. Then number 1, Buffalo Shuffle, who will try to shuffle in, switches to a high percent winning jockey, and in the last 7 days, that jockey's been in the money 8 times. And the rail post is winning at 18% clip. And then number 5, Will Take Control, will try to take control, as he finished in the money in 8 out of 12 races at Parx Racing, and he's won 2 races there.
What do you think, Terry? Charles says that, remember, it's not me. It's the horses that mess up the tickets. I don't know, Charles. If our tickets get messed up today, I'm putting the blame squarely on you, my friend. But I agree with him wholeheartedly on this sentiment, though. He says, you have to worry about what you can't see sometimes more than what you can see. And I agree wholeheartedly with Charles on that, And a lot of times, too, what I like to do, Terry, and I know in our discussions you've mentioned you do this as well, I like to look back after the fact and see what did I miss.
Yeah.
And then while it's not obvious sometimes, like Charles says, the what you didn't see, when you go look back at it, you do see it. And if you have a notebook, make a mark of it so that the next time you don't miss it, right? Which is what happens to me quite frequently. All right, so for me to close out, I'm going to go with number 4, just like you, Birchmount Road. Short rest. Last time out, he had a similar break. He won by 6 3/4 lengths, so 6.5 lengths at 7 furlongs. So the trainer's looking to strike lightning twice there. Number 7, Raven Rocks. Was it Naira Dropper in the last 2 races coming in from the Belmont Aqueduct races? Was better across the board last time out in its second start at Parx. Short resume. I think the horse only has 9 races so far. Says the only other time the horse ran a 3-race cycle, the 3rd race in that cycle was considerably the best. Number 2, Just a Thought, did tie for the top last race speed figure last time out. This will be the second start with trainer Scott Lake, who also was a guest on the Horse Center show. It's a 22% angle for a 15% winning trainer, which is what I call an alpha angle. Beaten favorite last time out, another 22% an alpha angle for Mr. Lake. And then finally, the last pick for me of the day, Terry, number 1, Buffalo Shuffle, does, as we mentioned in the pace worksheet, have A+ early edge at 2 and 4 furlongs. Gets the rail draw that wins at 18%, Terry. That horse will, let's see, what does Napoleon have to say here? Nealon Governor says, what's the best double on the card, Terry? Today, what's your best double on the card? Which races?
Probably, for me, it would probably be the 7th and 8th race.
So would you go 111 or would you go all your horses with the 11?
I'd go all my horses with the 11, yes.
For me, I think probably race number 3 is probably a good shot for me. I do like that 2-horse a lot. I do like the 6-horse on top of it and the 4-horse behind it. So I would probably put, my double would probably be race 2, my 4 horses, and with the 3, and then back on the other end, race 3 and race 4. That's the way I would look at it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charles. We appreciate that. Looking at the late pick 5, well, the only pick 5, the Philly 5 today, looks a little like this for Terry and I. Terry's going to go, he's going to single that 11 in there for $96. And it's 3 by 4 by 1 by 4 by 4. I'm going to go 2 by 2 by 2. So I'm going to do Noah's Ark for the first 3 races, Terry.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go 5 by 4. Mine is an $80 ticket. You could tack on another horse in race number 10. I think that would make it a $90 or $96 ticket. I'm not 100% positive.
Yeah, I think 96.
And then finally, our prime rib pick 4s. Terry, once again, gonna live or die with that 11 horse in race number 8. If that 11 horse wins race number 8, Terry, and you don't hit this late pick 4, then I don't know what to tell you, my friend, because you're gonna go 6 by 5, 6 by 1 by 5 by 6. That's $90, Terry.
That's right.
I'm also spending $90 in a little bit of a different way. I'm gonna go 3 by 3 by 5 by 4. Though I do think you can cut it back in race number 8, maybe to 2 horses, and to add one if you want in race number 10 or race number 9. Once again, here are our full picks today at Parx. My best bet is race number 3. Terry's best bet is in race number 8. Terry's long shot in race number 5. My long shot also in race number 5. So we have a battle of the long shots. Rich got beat up and wounded pretty badly last time out in the battle of long shots. So I'm hoping to recover and inflict a little bit of damage on Terry today. Our box it ups are back-to-back box it ups. Race 6, race 7 was $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. We had a couple nice ones in our box it ups last week, so let's get off to a good start there today, Terry.
Yes.
Our hot dog pick 4s. Terry's just going single crazy today in his pick 4s. With the 2-horse in race number 3, and then he's going to go 3 by 4 by 3, spending $18. Once again, we both spend $18, but differently. I'm going to do the Noah's Ark 2 by 2 in the first 2 legs, and then 3 by 3 in the last. And then finally, our prime ribs look like this. Last 4. Again, Terry living large on that 11 horse, living wild, crazy. And he's going to do the same thing with his pick 5. So Terry's entire day is going to bank on 2 horses, the 2-horse in race number 3 and the 11-horse in race number 8, Terry.
Yep.
And in the event you want to try to perhaps Terry hits that race today, we went out of our way today to be nice over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. It's the last week of summer, So what we're going to do today is we're going to make Colonial Downs, which is a top track. We usually don't do this, our free track of the day. Head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link today in the YouTube description, Facebook, and Twitter and Instagram. Please use that link so that they know you came over from horseracingtoday.net. The one horse is 1-1. And this is why I made it the free track of the day.
Richie's
1-1.
on a roll.
Richie's on a roll, baby. Can you do better than that, Terry?
No, you cannot. And I like the 3 horses afterwards. Pretty good darn odds. So be a nice exacta play.
Hopefully.
Box all 4. And yeah. So
you can't go wrong with Richie's on a roll. Again, make sure you join us tonight. Join Sean and his co-host Jamie Martinez. Always a wonderful show. Jamie's always so full of personality and always great information. Looking forward to seeing those 2 tonight. Make sure you check that out. Terry and I will be back tomorrow to do Colonial Downs. Yes. Yeah. Terry will be gone on Wednesdays and Thursdays going forward. So Charles of Ask Charles is going to fill in. Charles and I will tackle Saratoga for the last time this year and Del Mar on Thursday. Next week, Tom, we'll cover Kentucky Downs. You're right. I should have probably thought about that, but it's after the fact now. And that wraps it up for this Monday. Terry, any final thoughts before we get up and get out of here today?
Just, one thought I have is whatever your first inclination is in life, whether it be horse racing or whatever, you should follow that and not change your mind, because I've changed my mind yesterday twice and it really cost me big. So, and other than
that, I thought you were giving like life advice, like follow your heart. It turned into horse racing advice. So I guess in some ways they're related, right? Follow your heart on your first inclination in life. Right. It probably works out too. It's funny because as you know, both of us have had some tragedy in our family recently. Yeah. And I read about because it makes you think about your own mortality, right? Unfortunately. And reading in it, I read some articles about like the biggest regrets that people have in their lives. Mm-hmm. And the number one biggest regret, Terry, was not following your heart.
Yeah. And I that sounds right to me. So, yeah, make sure you give your loved ones a hug and a kiss. And, I spent all day yesterday with my son, which was really fun. And, if you like what you saw today, don't forget to subscribe to YouTube and to give us a thumbs up on on Facebook at Horse Race Today, and on Instagram, and also follow us on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. I guess the moral of the story is, Terry, if you do what makes you happy and not worry about making money, you'll probably end up making more money, right?
And it's true. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I proved that to myself over and over. So
absolutely. So we hope that no matter what you do today, that you do what makes you happy. And I know what would make me happy, Terry. That is if my best bet beats your best bet to the
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Everybody have a fantastic Monday. Jamie and Sean will see you tonight. Terry and I will be back tomorrow. Have a great Monday.